Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and we are just a few weeks away from Disney Lorcana's next set launching, Azurite Sea. And Lorcana players, just like you and me, are already starting to tinker and think up some of the cool combos that we're going to be able to pull off with these new cards. Thank you guys for checking out the video. And here are 5 cool combos I can't wait to try out in Azurite Sea. First up, we have the new Amethyst card, Maleficent Staff. It's a 2-cost inkable item, and it reads, whenever one of your opponent's characters, items, or locations is returned to their hand from play, gain 1 lore. Now, this card on its own is a great counter against Amethyst decks because anytime they use like a Madam Mim card to bounce one of their characters, you're going to gain a lore from that if this is on the field. But then we can actually combine that with an Emerald card from set number 5, the Emerald Chronicron. And what this card does is during your opponent's turn, whenever one of our characters is banished, we can return chosen character to that player's hand. So now if we play a really aggro style deck and we go really wide, if our opponent doesn't have item removal, they're still going to need to deal with our characters, most likely by banishing them or challenging them and banishing them. And when they do that, we can pick one of their characters on their side of the board, bounce it to our hand, and gain a lore from that. Or since we're comboing this with Amethyst, we could bounce one of our goats, we could bounce one of our rabbits, get that extra card draw during our opponent's turn so that we have even more options or we have more lore already for our next turn. This combo is going to be very versatile, and I have a feeling that combos like this are going to force decks to have that item removal because otherwise you're just not going to be able to deal with your opponent's board state at all. All right, and next up, just revealed today, the new Wreck-It Ralph Ham Hands card, 6-cost uninkable, pretty expensive, and if you get it early in your hand, it might feel a little bad, but he's a 4/4 questing for 3 and has an amazing ability. Whenever this character quests, you may banish chosen item or location and gain 2 lore. Any quest for 3, meaning in just a single quest, this card's going to get you 5 lore if you can fulfill the ability's requirements. Now, the best part about this is it doesn't need to be your opponent's items or location. It doesn't need to be your items or locations. It can be any item or location. So if we're playing Sapphire, we're going to have more than enough items down on the board to banish on our own. Or if our opponent's playing like a location-based Amber Steel deck, maybe they have Queen Castles or Libraries because they're playing Amethyst. Or maybe they are playing a Sapphire deck themselves and they have a bunch of Popsicles, a Fishbone Quill down. We're going to get 5 lore every time Ralph quests. And what better card to pair this with than the Pyros card from Into the Inklands. Pyros is a 5-cost inkable, so he can come out the turn before Ralph. And he has the ability, during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may ready chosen character. So not only can he attack multiple times if you just keep resetting himself, you can choose to reset Ralph instead. So if your opponent has multiple items out, or if you have multiple items out, as long as Ralph is able to quest and you have things to attack with Pyros, you can get an easy 10 lore just with these 2 cards alone. Now, the coolest part about this combo is that since they're both steel cards, you can pair this with any combination of colors and probably make it work. So like I said, if you do a Sapphire based deck, you're always going to have items available for you to banish, and you should have more than enough ink to pull off the combo in consecutive turns. Although with Sapphire, you do have to wait for both the cards to dry, giving your opponent a chance to at least counter it. If you pair this with Ruby per se, they do have the 1-cost Vitalisphere item, which getting an item on your side of the field, great just for the Ralph card in itself, but this card actually gives you the ability to give your Pyros a rush, so when it comes down onto the field, you can instantly start taking advantage of it resetting itself. Or you can pair this with Amethyst and the 1-cost Cogsworth from set 5, because when you play that Cogsworth, you also give a character rush, so you'll pay 6 ink for your Ralph to come down on turn 6, and then again on turn 7, you can pay 6 ink, 5 for the Pyros, 1 for the Cogsworth, and Pyros is able to instantly start attacking things on the other side of the field. And then Ralph can do his getting rid of items or locations, getting you that 5 lore, getting reset by the Pyros, and now you have 10 lore out of nowhere in a deck that already has a lot of good ways to surprise your opponent with getting lore. All right, and then next up is a 2-card combo that's coming to Sapphire. Both are new cards for this set, although some of us already might have access to one of them. And that's going to be the new 2-cost Oswald card, the Lucky Rabbit, with the amazing ability, during your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, you may reveal the top card of your deck If it's an item, you can play that item for free. It will enter play exerted. Otherwise, put that card on the bottom of your deck. We're going to combo this with the new Hero Hamada card coming to Sapphire. 3 cost inkable. He is a 0/3, so pretty easy for our opponents to remove. But he has a ability Sweet Tech, exert and pay 2 ink. Search your deck for any item card or robot character card. Reveal it to all players. Shuffle your deck and put that card on top. With this combo, we can actually go ahead and pull out our lucky dime whenever we need it, as long as Hero is able to survive 1 turn on the board. This is because with Hero, we're putting the item on the top of the deck. Then next turn, when we play our Oswald Lucky Rabbit, or maybe if he's already on the field, as soon as we ink our next card, we get to draw into that lucky dime. And even though it's a 7 cost, we can play it for free, meaning that as early as turn 4, we're going to have access to grabbing any item from our deck every single turn, as long as these 2 characters stay on the field, which means we can play big late game cards for free early, like Lucky Dime, Merlin's Carpetbag, to keep getting items back over and over again. And that's without even using Sapphire's ramp at all. I love this combo so much, especially since with Oswald on the field, we're not technically losing the card to the discard, we're just putting it at the bottom of the deck. So we still will hit it eventually, but if we can guarantee that that top card is an item, we can take advantage of that, play it for free, and now we have a lucky dime turn 4. And if we've done just a little bit of ramping, you can start questing with your big aerials, with your Tamatoas, as soon as they come out on the field, really speeding up these Sapphire decks. All right, now combo number 4 that we're going to talk about is the new Basil Disguise Detective coming to Emerald in Azurite Sea. It is a 6 cost inkable 4/5 with shift 4, questing for 2, but more importantly, has the ability Twists and Turns. During your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, you can pay 1 extra ink to make your opponent discard a card, and that's every single time you put something into the inkwell. So naturally, this is going to pair with your Sapphire decks. And as we know, Sapphire already has an amazing 1-drop Basil 2/1 with support, so you can get this card out nice and early, especially with all the ramp you're going to have from Sapphire. Throw out a Prince John onto the field as well, and now every single turn that this combo is out on the field, you're going to be inking a card, making them discard, and drawing a card, all for just your normal everyday actions that you're taking anyway per turn. Sure, it costs 1 ink, but with Sapphire, you should have more than enough ink to keep building out your board, while your opponent's going to be losing cards every single turn. All right, and now finally, one of the combos that I'm most excited to try out. That's going to be the new Ruby Moana Kakamora Leader card. She is a 7 cost inkable, 6/5. She's got 5 different tags on her: Floodborn, Hero, Princess, Pirate, and Captain. She's shift 5 and has the ability Gathering Forces. When you play this character, you may move any number of your characters to the same location for free. Gain 1 lore for each character that you moved. Now, I want to try comboing this with a Stitch Rockstar Pridelands deck. I can only imagine going super wide, maybe getting as many as 7-8 characters onto the board, and then playing this Moana, potentially even for free if you have a 0 to Hero in your hand. And then there's so many locations that this would just work really well with. In addition to having Pridelands already out in the field, you can move everybody to like a Tiana's Palace to protect them from being challenged. You can move them to ROS Legacy to give them all evasive. Rapunzel's Tower and Pridelands also give extra willpower to all your characters. The Jungle Oasis Pridelands is going to give you the ability to play something big from your discard pile for free. Or you can move everybody to like a Jolly Roger, and now they all have Rush. So that does it for the top 5 combos that I'm looking to try out when Azurite Sea launches on November 15th. Let me know in the comments what combos you're looking to try out with this new set. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure you sub to the channel so you don't miss out on any openings or gameplay videos that we post. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya!